I rest my life in the peace of God. I rest my life in the peace of God. I rest my life in the peace of God. Peaceful and free in the life of God. And as we prepare to receive Rev Todd's message, let us do this one, because I believe it is calling. It's a calling for us to step into our faith as we allow God to show us the way. So I hope you will join me in singing this one, Stepping into Faith. I'm stepping into faith, stepping out as faith. Oh yeah, into possibility, into who I'm called to be. 'Cause God is on my side. God is on your side too. And God is, come on now, on your side. We're gonna step into faith. We're stepping into faith. God knows the way. And God is on our side. I'm stepping into faith. We're gonna step out. Stepping out as faith. Oh yeah, there's no boundary set on me. I am unlimited and free. Did you know that God is on my side? And did you know that God is on your side? And God is on your side. We're stepping into faith. God will make a way. God makes a way. And God is on our side. We're going to sing God is on my side. Here we go. God is on my side. God is on your side. God is on your side. God is on our side. That's it. God is on our side. God is on my side. Did you know that God is on your side? I said God is on your side. We're going to step into faith. We're stepping into faith. God knows the way. God knows the way. And God is on our side.
Wow. Wow, we've had a start today. Do you know how you can tell that Peggy has a bunch of children in her house? Because somebody makes a fart noise in the middle of a prayer and she doesn't bat an eye and goes on praying. It was bound to happen sooner or later, and we got Zoom bombed today. And I am grateful that all they found time to do was make a fart noise and draw a big yellow X on the screen. That's all that was. I have friends in that live in more metropolis areas who have had racial slurs and all kinds of crazy things yelled in the middle of services. Kath knew how to get them out because Kath has actually experienced that a number of times with her open heart meditation that she does online. Say again?
And the racial slurs.
And the racial slurs? Okay. So
this was an actual cyber attack?
Yeah, we had two people that showed up in our Zoom room today to show us that, there's a way, right? We had a way to knock people out. God is always on our side. Yes? I mean, that's the truth. We have to stand in this faith like, it's okay. Look, Todd gets a chance to stand up and talk about forgiveness in a meditation and actually practice in that moment. And because Kath was also playing the videos, I went to Susie to knock people out. And Kath was like, I've already done it. It's already done. Thank you, Kath. Whew.
And I got their names written down so they show up again.
Yes. Well, so now online, definitely people that are on Zoom right now, you cannot unmute yourself until we give you that permission back at the end of the service. So if you're in there, you can't do that again. Yeah, it'd be if you're here locally, come on in person. We'd love to have you in our sanctuary. That's right, our IT pit, our information technology pit in action. Today's talk is called All the Way. All the way. Have you ever felt that you were standing at that moment where you knew what you needed to do, that your soul was calling you to do that thing, and you did not see how in the heck you could do it, that you could get there, that you didn't see how you had the resources, you didn't see the path, nothing was clear, and yet you knew that you had to do that. Anybody ever had that experience? I gave you an affirmation last week from Florence Scofield Shin. I hope I know y'all worked with it this week, all week long. You just don't come on Sundays, right? You worked on it all week long. Another one that she wrote is, she said, God makes a way when there is no way. God makes a way when there is no way. God makes a way when there is no way. God made a way for this congregation to be together in the midst of this crazy COVID experience, and we didn't know what we were doing, and we were all online for a while. And now we get to be together and apart, knowing that at the level of spirit, we're all right here together, because we still have a bunch of people that are on Zoom. We still have people watching on Facebook, and they're here with us right now. And we know that at the level of spirit, there is only right now. And I can tell you that other people are going to go back and they're going to watch those videos on YouTube, or they're going to watch the entire service on Facebook. Did y'all know you can do that after the fact? If that you need to hear that song again from Deidrey, you can go onto Facebook and you can hear all the songs and hear the message again if there's anything important said. Like an affirmation that you're supposed to work with all week. Right? God always makes a way when the appearances of this world say, hey, there's not really a way. There's not really a way. And see, sometimes we're at that place in consciousness where we need God out there to be the way. Right? This is our evolution of consciousness, our expansion to know the truth of who we are. If you remember, Abraham is going up the hill with Isaac, and he's like, hey, we're going to go make a sacrifice to God. Well, hey, Dad, where's the ram? Oh, God will provide. Knowing that God has told me to kill my child. But God makes a way because we are dedicated to the path that is shown before us. And we know, because your heart's desire is what this infinite divine mind is calling for you to do in the world. And so if your heart is longing for you to do this thing, there is going to be a way if you take the first step. Take the first step. That ram shows up. We see this in our evolution of consciousness because, all of the Israelites are fleeing from Egypt, fleeing from darkness. They're fleeing out of ignorance and running towards the truth, towards the promised land. And they get to the side of the Red Sea and they're like, what have you done? You have brought us out here to die. Do y'all remember this part? And then it's not just turning out to God, but they turn to Moses. We turn to the Moses of our consciousness, and we hold up that stick and we hold up our hand, and the wind blows and the sea parts, and suddenly we have a way forward. Because where there is no way, God will make a way. Divine mind will provide for us a way forward to do that which we are called to do as we unfold in consciousness and walk towards the light. Now, eventually, our consciousness expands to the point where we don't have to turn to our Abraham or to our Moses, because we arrive at the Christ of our being. Right? Because our faculties, our 12 faculties are going to go, hey, we've got to do this thing. You've got to feed all these people. Send them into town. No, we don't have to send them into town. Let's take what we've got and multiply it. And so it's not the God out there, but it is the Christ within that lifts up what we've already got, and it blesses it, and it multiplies. And the way is made. Now, I want to point out the way is made not just because Jesus said, hey, what have we got here? But the way is made because somebody else, when they were packing to go sit on the side of the ocean and listen to this man talk, thought ahead and packed some bread and some fish. Someone else helped make that way possible. That's interesting, huh? That's interesting. Do y'all know the name Claudette Colvin? Claudette Colvin? So she helped found the way. Do y'all know what tomorrow is? Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So in 1946, the Women's Political Council started in Montgomery, which was a group of women who had a petition, and they went and they met with the mayor of Montgomery. I don't know if y'all remember this, but I used to live in Montgomery. I lived there for 9 years. And from what I have read, from the time this happened to the time I lived there, a lot didn't change in city politics. But they went to the mayor and they said, hey, we want some stuff. We don't want anybody standing over an empty seat so that we can't sit down. They said, we don't want to have to pay at the front of the bus and then get off and walk around and load the bus from the back. I didn't know that was a thing. And they said, we want the bus to stop at every corner in the neighborhood where we live, the black neighborhood, just like it does in the white neighborhood. That's all they wanted. And you know what the mayor said? He said no. He said no. And so that meeting happened in 1954. And a year later, Claudette Colvin was 15 years old, and she got arrested because she would not give up her seat to a white person. But we don't know her name. A couple months after that, Mary Louise Smith, an 18-year-old, got arrested because she would not give up her seat to a white person on that bus in Montgomery. But we don't know her name. You want to know why we don't know her name? Hold on to your seats. She got pregnant out of wedlock. Thank you. Just like Mary did. Just like Mary did. So she wasn't the fine, upstanding symbol for a movement the way Rosa Parks became. I'm trusting most of you know who Rosa Parks is. right? And all of this came about because people said, hey, all we want is we don't want people standing over a seat. We don't want to have to pay up front and then walk around outside and get back on the bus from the back. And all of that paved the way for us to even know who Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is today. The way is always prepared. Where it looks like there is not a way is made by divine mind. A way gets made by divine mind. And when we seek first his righteousness, even more gets delivered to us, because all they were saying was, we don't want to have to pay up front and walk around back and get back on the bus. And now suddenly it ends up going to the Supreme Court of the United States. And they can't segregate on buses. I mean, they later changed their demands where they said, we want the white people to load from the front of the bus and the black people to load from the back of the bus, and whoever gets to the seat first gets to keep it until they get off. Of course, they said no to that too. And eventually all those crazy rules of segregation got struck down. And I wish I could say that, all that's over. But it's not. So that there is something in me that's calling me. I have work to do around equity in the world. I don't know what work you are being called in to do. And I don't know what obstacles you're making up in your mind that you see that say, I can't do this. Like, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough education. I don't have the support. I don't, whatever you're making up. I want to remind you that in divine mind, there is a solution for every human need. And if your heart is calling you to do it, guess whose job it is to do it? It's yours. Are you willing to do that? You willing to step forward and do what you are called to do? Yes. To be loved. Because we didn't just come here to frolic and make fart noises on a computer or to do crazy stuff. If you've got extra time, you need to go love bombing people. Go love bomb them. Go tell them how amazing they are. Go remind them that they are an individualized expression of divine mind, that God lives in and as the midst of them, reaching out into this world, because we are here so that God might know itself fully at the point of us, in love, in light, in joy. And some of us have been wasting time. Wasting time because, I have to pay up here and walk back there. Stop telling yourself stories and get busy. The world needs you to show up right now. You willing to do that? Yes. Where there is no way, God will make a way. God makes a way where there is no way. Say, I will find a way. I will find a way. Say it again with passion. I will find a way. If you're watching on Facebook, I want you to type that in the comments. I will find a way. If you're watching on Zoom, type that in the chat. I will find a way. Because that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. And hey, I want to remind you, look around. Look around if you're on Zoom, look around at all those names on there. We've got how many? 16 now, because we had to kick 2 people out. We got 16 people on Facebook, on Zoom. We got more people on Facebook, and we have all these people in here. I know that Susie's already counted. How many people are in here, Susie? We have 40 people in the sanctuary today. Y'all look around. You are not alone. You have the support of all of these other individualized expressions of divine mind that will help you. That will help you find a way. That will hold sacred space while you find a way. Because we all need you to do it. We all need you to do it. If you got questions about this today, you are wrestling with something that God said, if you are struggling about something, if you want to fuss at Reverend Todd because he said fart now, I think 3 or 4 times in the service, come on back to Conscious Conversations after our service today. Because see, part of the responsibility of being in community is being in the community and knowing each other. Yes? So we want to be here and we want to know each other. And we got a bunch of people online that want to know the people in this room. And people that are online, the people in this room need to know y'all. That way we can support each other. Because we're going to go all the way. All the way. And so it is, friends. I love you all.
Thank you, Rev Todd, for challenging us to use our gifts and being in faith that God will always make a way for us to be able to use them. And that we can't just sit around. We have to actually do the work. We have to actually do the work. We have to do what must be done. I learned as a child there are 2 ways to see the world as it is and the way it should be. Some people quit before they've begun, but some people do what must be done. They see a hole in the fabric that must be sewn. They see a way blockaded and they roll back the stone. They see the day beyond the horizon and they do what must be done. Some people do what must be done. They do what must be done. They see the way beyond the horizon and they do what must be done. Some people do what must be done. They do what must